The following gaming talk show is brought to you with as many gaming interruptions as possible by 1Life2Play.
Conversations with the wildly talented and ambitious minds found within the developer community helped us understand what would define the new and the next for them. We painted a picture of the future that would revolutionize not just the console, but would have implications across our entire portfolio of products. Our immersion into the gaming experience at every touch point resulted in a renewed passion for play and keen insight into the demands any new platform would have to meet to be relevant and extraordinary. Today, we will give you a glimpse into the future of play, a reimagination of the gaming experience that has been developer-led, consumer-inspired, and powerfully and thoughtfully engineered by Sony Computer Entertainment. It's designed to make accessing the content gamers love easier than ever. It's conceived as the most personalized gaming experience available today. It is consistent with our heritage in gaming, delivering the most powerful platform ever. It is simple and adaptive with socially enriched content. Expect worlds to come alive with greater fidelity and intensity than ever before. Expect the best franchises to be even better. And expect powerful opportunities to connect and play and stay informed even when away from the primary console. This is the foundation of our next generation platform, PlayStation 4. Thank you.
Live from Man Cave Studios in the heart of downtown Earth. The planet's soon-to-be best video game web show. Put it in and press start. This is 1Life2Play.
What's up? It's 1Life2Play. I'm Larry Braz, your host. I'm here with P-Double.
That's me.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Exciting week of gameplay.
The gameplay and game announcements. So
yes.
You saw that from the intro right there. PlayStation 4 has been officially revealed and announced. No more rumors. It's here.
It's a very smooth yet dramatic approach. I like the intro today.
I guess it was a smooth approach. It's one way to go about doing it, I would say. But PlayStation, Sony had their conference yesterday. That was Wednesday night, where they did their official reveal. A lot of people on the nets were calling it their launch announcement. It is not launching. It's not launching yet. They just revealed it. They made everything that we've been talking about over the past year, possibly year and a half, true.
Trying to make a reality out of it all.
So they've been working on it for quite some time now, I guess. It seems like they jumped to work on it right after they released the PS3. So they took no time to wait or dwell in any failure or success with their current console before they began work on this next one that we're going to see. So we're going to get into a lot of those details from that announcement. We're still going to give you the around the room today. We got a weekly steal for you guys. And we're gonna get into a deep discussion on some Watch Dogs because that's one game that we're excited about.
Definitely, just from reading about that game and a couple of videos we've seen, it's just like, oh my God, I want this game. I want it on PS4 to be exact.
It's something you got to play, I would say. I mean, I want to play it, but yeah, we'll get into all that Watch Dogs stuff in just a bit, a little later in the show. But I mean, first off, the PlayStation 4. What'd you think of the conference, the whole meeting?
They didn't release too much, but they released enough to say, hey, Microsoft, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah.
Right.
Like your move.
Yeah. They took the first move of the chess game. So.
Yeah. And I kind of like that because, I mean, we know we're going to hear a lot about the next generation consoles, whether I mean, you can forget that what's coming from Sony and what's coming from Microsoft. We're also going to hear about, the Steam box, more about Ouya if it's not out already, and more about the NVIDIA graphics or NVIDIA console. We're going to hear all about that at E3.
Right.
And here's Sony choosing to take a step ahead of the game. You
Yes,
know,
they are.
Why wait till E3 to show you what we're already going to show you anyway? To be the first one. So they announced the release date. When's that coming out?
I think sometime November.
You would think November, right? When they say holiday,
Yeah.
you hope they follow in Nintendo's footsteps. When you say holiday,
Right.
come on right before Black Friday. You know, drop that console. That makes sense.
Yep.
So it's not looking like we're gonna have to wait until 2014. We're gonna see that by the end of this year. We're gonna be able to get our hands on it, and
at least they're making it look like that, or they're making it feel like that. They're already creating a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
And ears are already open, and your ears are going to be gleaming open after this episode.
Well, I mean, first out of the gate, and you give a release window. I think that's something you're gonna really have to stick to. Then you can't backpedal that one.
Well, they always backpedal.
They do, but I mean, this is the time where the brakes, you gotta, just cut the brake line and keep going forward. You get that release window.
Technology is moving so fast, they should be able to keep that deadline.
They should be. So as you bring it up, technology moving so fast, the tech that they're putting into this next console, I've got to say, I like what they're doing. They're abandoning the cell processor. They're putting something new into it.
Well, what about if they had put like 8 cell processors together?
I don't know. Like, I think, and that's kind of the feeling I got from the conference too. The whole meeting announcement, everything of itself was kind of really more for the developers. It was letting the developers know, we're behind you. This is what we want to do. We want you to get behind us, and these are the tools we're going to give you to do that.
Right.
Sticking with that cell processor, you already made PlayStation 3 games a little difficult to create for developers, especially indie developers.
Yeah. Let's keep it simple. Let's make it easy. Let's make a lot of developers want to use our hardware and programming and software to create awesome games.
So they really want to give those tools, like you said, make them simple. And what they're going to do is they're going to put in x86 through. Now this is one thing in the specs. I mean, in the announcement, they announced that they would be putting an x86 processor in it.
That would be a Athlon 64. Or
that would be
the newest generations of those.
Well, it's possible, but exactly what chip it is that's the unknown part.
Yeah, the clock speed on that's unknown, but it definitely will be 8 of those.
It will be an AMD chip.
Yep.
So it has 8 cores. It will be x86 instruction based. But at the same time, when you looked at the specs, if you went outside and beyond the meeting and really looked at the written technical specs of the PS4. They do state it would be an x86 through 88 chip, which means they already have plans to upgrade the processing speed even after the launch console comes.
The chipset's already on the next generation of the smaller chip.
So they're already looking at, let's go ahead and launch this with the x86, and just like they did with the PlayStation 3 itself, is start off with a smaller processor, and in new models and iterations of that same console, go ahead and increase the processing speed. So they've already got plans to do that. So we can look forward to the end of the PlayStation 4 window using an x88 processor. So I think that's really promising in and of itself.
Yeah, and they have 8 gigs of RAM, GDDR3.
Yeah, so that's
no, not 3, 5.
5.
So it's going to be 5 times the speed.
So that's usually things that you find in high-end PC graphics cards. They're putting that right into their console. At the same time, you do have the 8 gigabytes RAM. You have an independent 8 gigabytes still running on that processor as well, from what I hear. That's still going to be able to transfer. I think it was somewhere around 2 gigabytes per second on a bus speed.
Yes, that's okay.
So
at the FSU.
I mean, when you got your graphics processor talking to your core processor
that fast,
at that kind of speed,
yeah,
you're talking about making some truly amazing looking games then.
Yes, and to top it all off, of course, ATI and AMD are, as one, we can sort of say now.
They're like a tag team.
Yes,
yeah,
and they're throwing a Radeon. They didn't give, because everything, of course, is custom.
Right.
But they threw a Radeon, and they said it is doing about 1.8
teraflops. Teraflop speed. Teraflops. You're talking nearly 2 teraflops.
I so like that teraflops. It just
sounds like that's somebody like saying to you like a quintillion, a quintillion, trillion, quadrillion dollars. Like, you already know that's a lot of money. Like, don't even have to know like what I can buy with it. I
That's
just know that's a lot
insane.
of money.
Just for the record, my computer's graphics card does 386 gigaflops.
That's gigaflops.
Right.
You're talking about
1,000
times
gigaflops.
more than this. You're talking about 1,000. Wait. You're talking
Almost 2,000.
You're at gigabyte.
Right.
You're at gigaflops.
Gigaflops. Almost 2 times that amount.
Yeah, this is gonna be this would be 3 times that speed.
3 times that speed, but they're almost at 2 teraflops. They're at 1.8.
Right. So that's 4 times. That's 4 times the speed you're looking at right now because they've already gone to that. Yeah, I mean that's just you hear us talking about it, and if you're not as technical as P-Double and myself, I mean when you hear us throwing around gigaflops, teraflops, and 1,000 times that, bottom line is this thing is fast. That's it right there. This thing is pretty fast. So I mean I like what it's doing. I like what Sony's trying to do. Give power from the get-go.
Yes.
Right out of the box.
That's American muscle, but this is not American right now. This is Sony Entertainment.
Well, I mean, I don't know who they're leaning
right.
on. I know.
Yeah.
This is Sony, but they're leaning on some of the greatest minds in
Gaming
video
history.
games now. Yeah. You're talking about guys who the guys they brought up on a stage, and yeah, I mean, I get that. I hear a lot of viewers out there saying the same thing, and I kind of felt the same way. It's like, how many people can you bring on stage? How many different people can you bring on stage? I mean, it really just takes one person. There really need to be 2 hours. But when you look at, and I gotta break. There was just one point. I can't remember what game they were talking about, and actually, I think it was the Bungie Destiny game. But they brought out 4 people onto the stage at one time, and only one person talked, said the entire spiel from
But they're all
Bungie,
4 up there.
and then went back behind stage. I was like, what would you add the other 3 up for? Like the set pieces?
It was like the Sony Grammy Awards.
Yeah.
It's like, congratulations, you made it to PS4.
Like, congratulations, you're making another generation's game.
Yes.
Good job. All right, way to go.
Pretty soon, maybe we can host one of those.
That would be nice. Congratulate them on making it to the next generation.
The
you
gaming
survived.
Grammys.
You
See,
survived.
someone's gonna take that already, but the gaming Grammys it is.
I guess that's the VGAs already.
Yeah,
I get that to the VGAs. I do enjoy watching the VGAs every year. So hopefully we'll see. And you know what? That's one thing that the VGAs don't do. And I wonder why they don't do that. Why don't they give console of the year? If consoles have these 4 to 5 year lifespans, why not every year go ahead and give a console of the year? Maybe Sony wins it one year.
What made the best?
Maybe Microsoft wins it the next.
It's awesome.
Maybe Vita wins it. Maybe, I don't know, Nokia with a phone wins it. You know?
Right.
Get a best console out there, you know?
Why not?
Best console award.
That'd be awesome.
It should be no more competition. I like the way they started this whole announcement for the PlayStation 4. They said, we don't need to fight to be number 1 anymore.
They said we are number 1, huh?
And they basically, that's all they were saying. Like, we don't need to fight to be number 1 anymore. We are number 1.
They took the world by a storm.
And so it's like what they did. What they did at that announcement, it made me appreciate being a Sony owner and why I enjoy. And I'm probably gonna put my foot in my mouth because when E3 comes out and I see the 720. I'm gonna be in love with that one too.
You best believe it.
So
nothing like an Xbox.
Nothing like an Xbox.
Now I do have a question for you guys.
This is LEM. He's behind the glass right now.
What's going on, peoples? I do have a question for both of you guys.
Okay.
I want you guys to answer it.
What you got?
I'm gonna bring it up later on the show about the PS4, and we're gonna post it on Facebook and see what the masses answers is. But it's basically
right on.
What's so different in your one word? I don't want a paragraph. What's so different from the PS4 to the PS3?
In one word?
Yeah, you don't have to answer it right now.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that later in the show. We want to ask the viewers that too. So we'll get that thrown up on Twitter in the next few minutes.
So in case you guys didn't hear, it's in one word. What's
the difference between the PS3 and the PS4?
What's the difference
in one word?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Maybe 3.
No, you can't say 3 words, man. It's one word. Like
just one word.
All right, so oh man, I gotta think about that one. One word. The number one thing I appreciate is that they focused on the development of games. And I think that's where Microsoft is going to miss the boat. I think that's where Nintendo already has. I mean, Nintendo's Wii U, it's great in of itself. I like what it's doing, But what it's doing is just giving you another gimmick to play games with instead of just giving you better games to play. And I think that's where PlayStation 4 is setting itself apart. It's not going to give you another gimmick. It's not going to say, oh, this is how you incorporate your body with the game, and now your emotions and your senses are in the game now too. No, here's a better looking game, and you can do more in it. I think
bottom line.
That's it. And they kept using the word imagination. And I think that's where it comes into play. Forget the physicalities of me playing. Like, I got to move to play my Kinect. I got to move my couch. I have to worry about my physical world around me if I'm playing all these gimmicky games. Oh, I could play the Wii U gamepad and incorporate my menu with the screen that I'm playing on. And if I'm not playing anymore, I could take that away and I can go sit in the corner while mom and dad watches TV. You know, why are you bringing the physicality of where I'm playing into play so much? Can you put me more into that world? Can you expand my imagination greater?
Well, that's I guess you could say a two-side hit or whatever you call it, because all the things you were saying as cons also are pros.
Yeah, and that's why I say I'm not taking anything away from those consoles, but again, it just seems like Microsoft they're not. They don't have the capability in themselves, I think, to focus on improving gameplay. They want.
I would beg to differ.
Microsoft has always been an innovative company, and that's all they're going to keep doing. They're just going to try to innovate and stack more on top of more on top of more, instead of trying to expand. Microsoft is not an expander.
Well, without Microsoft, there wouldn't be any of these games that we're playing right now.
So untrue.
That's partially due to it. That's partially.
Wait, what came out first?
PC,
the
PC,
PlayStation 1 or the Xbox original?
The PC came out first.
Exactly. Thank you.
No, the PC.
The PC was. At first, it was just to come out to be like the Mac for business. And they're like, let's incorporate media into it. So PC hit the media spot first. Then Mac hit the media spot.
Whoa, back up. No.
Yeah.
So here's my breakdown here. First off, PC stands for personal computing.
Yes.
Okay? Personal computers didn't show up until the 80s. Games were already been playing on servers that were computers, not PCs. As they were playing on servers, those weren't the first things that developed inside of a home. First thing that developed inside of a home were things like the Commodore, the Atari, and the Apple II to play those games on.
Well, then we got to extreme games. That's basic gaming. We get to extreme gaming.
So when you talk about extreme gaming, you still talk about Sega. You talk about Sega, Nintendo. Microsoft is not the ones that did this.
We're talking about extreme 3D gaming.
But even PC by itself.
Well, this is the bottom line. They had to design those games on the computer in the first place.
3D, and here's my argument with 3D gaming. 3D gaming came about with Toshiba. And what did Toshiba make?
The Neo Geo?
The Neo Geo. Then they went on to make the Jaguar. Yeah. And when they made those things were then sold to Microsoft in order to make their first Xbox. Their first Xbox Toshiba chips. Microsoft came behind. They're stacking on top of what's already been stacked.
Okay, but you still needed a PC to create all these games.
You needed the PC to make all these games.
They did this stuff on PCs and computers and Macs.
I mean, I give you that. The best way to develop now is on PC. But I don't give the birth of modern gaming to PC.
Well, a lot of it is because the PC and they're all using DirectX engines.
See,
most of the time, everything's created on that.
They're using those engines for development.
Yes.
Development. So have you always seen the same things that they say now with developers when they release teaser trailers? Oh, this is on a developer build console. That developer build console is a PC. When do they end up looking better? When they throw them into a console. When they go ahead and render and compile that final game, it looks better at that point.
No, it looks better at that point because it has a better graphics unit
behind it.
Has a stronger component.
PC.
Period.
That's not on PC.
I can build a PC that's stronger than that, and then it'll look better than that.
So do you think PCs are only trying to catch up with consoles and be better at the same time?
I think it's a little bit of both because there's plenty of PCs that are better than home consoles. And will make that same game look that much better on that computer versus the console. And then there's games on the consoles that just never even get to reach PC because the demand's not for there. But
I see that.
That's why I said it's like this. like a teeter-totter.
But there's that point, too. Yeah, that's the teeter-totter that, I was just going to
like
point
right now,
out there, like
ATI is winning in the graphics processing and things like that, but NVIDIA is not far behind and controlled most of the world of gaming and developing for a long time.
Yeah.
And they even have, like, each graphics card has support for different programming and apps and things like that, like NVIDIA Physics. So there's tons of things that they have themselves entwined in. Just like I want to say, the development of games and things are on PCs. They have that entwined. Like, it's automatically going to be it's entwined with it.
But what I'm getting at is with the teeter-totter is just like, they had to catch up there. There was a point in time where PCs couldn't do what the consoles that were coming out, like in the early 90s, where PCs couldn't do that. So PCs had to strive to get to that point. Mm-hmm. They did exceed them at a certain point. But
I had an NVIDIA GeForce 2.
Oh, damn, that's old.
Yeah, and I was doing PlayStation 1 graphics on my computer.
Yeah.
So I had, like, every system.
I know what you were playing too, because I was playing the same thing. You were playing that Rainbow Six, right?
That and Resident Evil. Like I had PlayStation games. I put them right on my computer, and
yeah, I get that. Yeah, I was playing things like that. So, well, I mean, they had to catch up to a certain point. You start playing things like Doom and getting those kind of games on them. And those games, yeah, that's true. Those games started on the PC, transitioned to console. So that's that catch up moment. That's probably that bridge that it all occurred at when you started seeing the Carmack, the two Johns, right? The two Johns, John Carmack and John Romero. They came together. They released games like Doom and later Quake
strictly
on
a PC.
Yeah,
and then reached over.
So I see where that crossover occurs.
Call of Duty.
Again, from his birth, from modern gaming birth, no, it's gonna happen with a console.
3D gaming.
So I mean, when we talk 3D gaming, yeah, I think that's
Call of Duty,
that's a little sticky. That's a sticky situation because it showed on PC, but it showed on console just as great.
Yep.
And I wouldn't say at that time when we saw games like that PC was any better than console. Now, you would say it's better than console.
No, it just took money. Like all those days, everyone else was doing 128.
And you know what? That's why I give you the credit. That's why I give you credit. It took the money of innovators and developers and manufacturers like Microsoft to build those machines, to put them in so you can put them into the living room.
There we go.
But again, what Sony's doing it from scratch. They're
imagination.
They're not going to it. They're using their imagination.
I like that.
So that's what they do. But they also use their imagination to develop and I like the way they did it. They didn't dwell on it. It's not a gimmick of gameplay. They showed off the new PlayStation controller. So they actually turned it over to Mark Cerny, the lead architectural designer for the PlayStation 4.
And he has some comments and things to say about that,
He talked about the controller. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage. If you guys don't know where that's from. Am I dating myself with that?
He said put the bean footage on?
Yeah, beautiful bean footage.
No, we talk about Mark Cerny, right?
Yeah, you got that. He's talking about what it took to start designing the PlayStation 4, what they decided to put into it, and then goes on to introduce the PlayStation 4 controller.
Yes.
So I like it. Let's take a look at it.
So when we started this process, it was the early days of the PlayStation 3, which is to say, at a time of great transition in technology and how we use it. Every major console, all the way from the Atari 2600, which was the dominant console when I started in games some 30-something years ago, all the way up through the PlayStation 2, had pretty much been a single-purpose device. Insert the cartridge, the CD, the DVD, power it on, play your game. That's all they did, and that was fine. That was the world we lived in then. But at the time of the launch of the PlayStation 3, all of that was in flux. The world was becoming a connected place, and a single device was now expected to provide a range of services and applications. Now, PS3 has done pretty well in these respects. It's the top platform for Netflix. But as a console designed before this revolution hit, there are limits to the functionality that it can provide in this new world. In addition, since the launch of PlayStation 3, we've seen a proliferation in the number and variety of devices that people own and interact with. With so many platforms to support, much less value is found today in exotic technologies such as blast processing or a supercomputer on a chip. I'm proud of what we accomplished with Cell on PlayStation 3, But at the same time, the need to radically customize technology can interfere with the design innovation that's so central to game creation. So for PlayStation 4, while we knew that the core performance of the console would be vital to its success, the cross-disciplinary team that we assembled had several additional goals. For one, we wanted to make sure that nothing would come between the platform, and the joy of play. When I think back to the launch of the PS1, there was a real fun factor that was an intrinsic part of the PlayStation DNA. The whole world was our audience, and we had a remarkable time evangelizing the message that gaming was fun. We also wanted to be sure that the system architecture could fluidly connect the player to a larger world of experiences and provide easy access to everything PlayStation has to offer, across the console and mobile spaces and the PlayStation Network. And finally, we wanted to hear from developers. We spoke to dozens of the best teams in the world. We wanted to know what was important to them. We wanted to make them happy. Because if they were happy, we knew we could unleash the creativity and innovation that would result in a true next-generation experience. Our goal was to create an architecture that would facilitate the expression of their ideas. Now, we couldn't come right out and say in 2008 or so, what would you like to see in a next-gen console? We had to talk our way around the topic. But they knew what we meant, and their comments were invaluable in crafting the system specs. And we were able to create, in PlayStation 4, a platform by game creators for game creators. It is a powerful and accessible system, and it has a deep feature set to support the ongoing development and evolution of gaming itself. Now, the architecture that we chose is like a PC in many ways, but supercharged to bring out its full potential as a gaming platform. For the CPU, we chose the most familiar architecture on the planet, the x86, allowing us to tap into over 3 decades of programming expertise. For the graphics processor, we decided to use a highly enhanced PC GPU, something that would be easy to develop for in the early days of the platform lifecycle, but at the same time, a GPU with remarkable long-term potential. And for system memory, I'm proud to announce that we are equipping the system with 8 gigabytes of high-speed unified memory, both satisfying the #1 developer request for ease of game creation and also increasing the richness of content achievable on the platform. And this system memory is backed by the massive local storage that only a hard drive can provide. Overall, this architecture is designed to ensure that the very best games and the most immersive experiences will reach the player. Now, the next few demos are live, so I get the pleasure of sharing with you, for the first time, the new controller. And here it is, the DualShock 4. Thank you. So, during the development of the DualShock 4, we worked with key partners in the development community to enhance the feel of the joystick and the trigger buttons. The result is a much tighter sense of control over in-game actions. We also took this as an opportunity to enhance the rumble capabilities and reduce the controller latency. And finally, we added a few new features. A touchpad as a new form of input, a share button and a headphone jack to enhance social interactions, and a light pad as a light bar as a simpler, more friendly way to identify players. And this new controller was designed in tandem with a second peripheral, a stereo camera that can sense the depth of the environment in front of it and track the 3D position of the controller via its light bar.
The headphone jack, it has the touch screen.
Right.
Well, not the screen, but touch sensitive.
Touchpad.
And we also said that how do they add more features to the controller yet make it a little bit smaller.
And I kind of think that it looks a little bit bigger. I think it's wider at the base, at the handles. I like the idea of adding the grip on the underlay of the controller. And we'll show some more pictures. But Eliam, you had something?
That's what we was having a conversation about. But before I bring this up, PlayStation users always complain about how Xbox controllers are so bulky.
Yeah.
Now look what PlayStation's doing. So here's the controller.
And I don't know if it's the bulkiness. I think it's the symmetricalness.
It's just asymmetrical, perfect for a gamer.
It's solid, man. That's solid.
Left
That's
or
solid.
right-handed, it's perfectly like. This is what I wanted. I would say from being owning both. Braz owns both. Lou's trying to be there right now.
He's working hard at it.
He's used to the Xbox controller. He's used to the Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Me having both systems, you having both systems. What's your favorite controller?
I'm gonna have to go with the PlayStation, man. PlayStation.
I play more games on Xbox, and I also agree that the PlayStation controller is better.
Yeah.
The analog's much more smoother. It just gives you an all-out better, smooth control gaming experience. It's just awesome.
Right. I mean, for me, I think having those dual sticks, the analog sticks at the same position on both sides, it makes it a little easier on my thumbs to know, like, all right, this is where I go, you know, especially when I move from direction pad to buttons and back to the stick. When I'm playing the Xbox, it's really hard for me to move from a top analog with directions below that, again, provide no real feedback on that direction pad. I never really liked the D-pad on the Xbox controller, and not without providing that feedback, I never know when my thumb really truly slides down to that directional pad.
Yeah, because it's like off center. It just seems a little weird about what LEM said about the symmetry.
I just realized on the screen, you guys probably just see my thumb wiggling on the bottom of the screen.
Play that remote up here.
If I play this one up on the screen, that works better, right?
I think that's that PlayStation itch.
That's it.
You need a fix.
Maybe I just push these buttons up here. It's somewhere behind it.
PS Anonymous or something.
So there it is. We have some nice screenshots of the controller, and I like the layout of it.
I like it. I can't wait to use. I am interested though in how the touchscreen's gonna work. I almost thought, like, when you first heard the rumors that they were gonna be putting a touchscreen into the controller, that you would think it would be down on the bottom.
Or I almost initially thought it might have been on the back.
Oh, like the Vita with a little touchpad on the back of it?
Exactly.
That would have been nice too.
Like a backtrack.
All I've got to say is...
That could get confusing.
What, having it on the back?
Yeah, because we're not, as gamers, we're not used to a touchpad behind the controller.
But I think gamers got real used to it and very quickly with the PlayStation Vita. Knowing that you had the access to do it.
Yes.
I think knowing that you had the access to do it. I played one in Target. I don't own the Vita, but I played one. And it was playing at, which game was it? I think it was the Uncharted game.
Love it.
But it was like being able to do that. That's pretty sweet. Knowing that that's back there, you have the capability to do it, you're going to be aware of it, and you're going to have some good time doing it. So, I mean, it's odd that they put it on the top. I want to see how it gets used with the thumbs going up over the analog sticks. That's the issue I'm having, like getting my thumb up over the analog sticks in order to use it in any capacity, or is it something I'm supposed to use my index finger for?
Right.
One thing I got to say is if they're going to use that touchpad, it better be able to control the keyboard when I'm inputting redeemable codes or sending messages across the cross-media bar.
Oh, my goodness.
It needs to be able to control that keyboard on screen. I need to be able to move instead of, like, right now.
Oh, I hate the texting. That's one thing I liked about... Well, PS3 came out with a keyboard.
They got the keyboard.
It just didn't seem like it's set right.
And still, again, that keyboard for the Microsoft controller, that makes sense. That's good. It's at the bottom. But even the keyboard for the PlayStation controller is at the top.
Yep.
And it's just like, why do you continuously put additional input over the analog stick?
Or another thing is work on sound voice recognition. You know what I didn't understand.
You just told them, just work on it, just do it.
This is one thing that I don't know why they did it, but at the same time I do know why. The PlayStation remote, PlayStation 3 was such high caliber. We didn't go with wired headsets. Unless we did, it was not through USB port in the front. But for the most part, it was always a Bluetooth device.
Yeah, I mean, I get why they're putting a head. I'm not saying. it's not to say that they're not going to put a Bluetooth capabilities in it, but at least it gives people the option to put a regular mic in.
Yeah.
You know, and that I think that's what I appreciate more, especially with the other things that they're adding into the PlayStation 4. Talking about social sharing, gameplay streaming.
Yes.
I think it pretty much like forces them to put something like that in it, because now you're talking about people getting greater audio fidelity on gameplay commentary.
Yeah.
Talking to your friends in higher quality when you can hook up a regular PC mic, when you can do something like that. And again, it comes down to the accessibility for gamers and for players. Maybe not all players have Bluetooth mics and headsets. So
I still play with people now who don't even have a regular microphone. I'm like, it's 2013. Go get a microphone.
Yeah. It's like, but that's the problem, I think, with telling everybody to go get Bluetooth for it, is that any Bluetooth device, you're not going to get just a Bluetooth mic. You're going to get the Bluetooth headset. So it's going to be your audio playback and your mic too. And I remember I had the issue that, like now, I know I can go to the input. I can send the audio output that I'm getting in the chat room or the chat lobby, like when I'm playing Black Ops 2. I can send that to my main output, which is my TV, and I can only leave my mic on. But why did I need an entire Bluetooth headset if I want to play my audio through the TV, though? Let me just hook a mic up. That's all I want to do. Just hook a mic up.
Hook the mic up.
So, I mean, given that port, maybe we're dwelling too much on that port, but it is something new for PlayStation. It's something new for PlayStation. You haven't seen it. You've seen it in every Xbox controller, and they've done different ways of connecting a mic to their controller. And now you see that same sort of input being integrated into a PlayStation 4 controller. So
FYI,
I like it.
Watchers, Bluetooth microphones are awesome. The Bluetooth headsets are awesome.
You're just gonna force them to get one, huh?
Yeah, just go buy one. They're just that much better.
So we talked about we touched on it in a bit. LEM, what's that?
No, I was just gonna bring up the first Bluetooth headset for the Xbox that I seen was at P-Double's house.
What? Which one do you got? Which one do you have?
I have the Halo one.
See, I have the SOCOM, the one that came with SOCOM. This is the not SOCOM.
No, for the Xbox, right?
Actually, this came with SOCOM Confrontation.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So this was the first official. They right now, Sony does have now a better official Bluetooth headset for the PS3, but this was the first official Sony PlayStation Bluetooth headset. I still use it. It's still great.
And he can also use
in great
that
condition,
for
actually.
his phone.
Yeah, you can use it. I can use it on my phone every now and then when I don't find my regular Bluetooth, and I know I'm gonna have a conference call in the car. I will grab this one and take it from the house and use it on my phone. It works on any phone. I've had an iPhone before. I have Android. It works on any phone.
Awesome.
It has a charging port, charges in the back, or you could charge it directly off of it from the top. Mute, volume control. It's actually a pretty great device and universal for size. You just have to flip it out. You can put it on the other side. So I enjoy it. So yeah, maybe you're right, P-Double. If you can go get it. Oh, that's our Xbox turning on. I don't like that. This new Xbox is so sensitive. Yeah, you just kind of like float your hand next to it, and it's just like, oh, you want to play a game?
Yeah.
It's just itching.
Yeah.
Itching. That's the box.
And you see, there it is again. That's one of the features that's now in PlayStation 4. This little this sleep feature where it's just like really never shut off.
It never turns off, and it lets you just continue your gameplay, and you don't have to wait for startup time, boot time,
loading,
nothing.
All right, so here's a question that I have. So my buddy plays the PS3, and he leaves his PS3 on all day.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
And we know who I'm talking about. He plays his PS3 and it's on all day long. It never it sleeps. It goes down to a shutdown screen, a temporary, but the screen is constantly up. As soon as he picks up that remote and presses the button, he's already in the lobby.
Right.
Why would you really need a sleep mode on the PS3 when you can already do that?
Because what our buddy is doing right now by leaving his console on all day just to be able to pick it up and not go through a loading screen is actually bad for his system.
He's burning
He is burning out the cycles of his system, staying on that one continuous cycle and never turning it off. He's not giving it a chance to cool down. He's not giving it a chance to reset his memory or cache. And that's what it really comes down to, is just giving it a chance to reset that cache. Now, what they're doing in the PlayStation 4 with these improved processors, obviously with the 8 cores, they're probably storing information on a separate core in order to put it into that sleep mode so where it can resume again. But they have the capacity to be able to do that in that console.
Yeah.
With a cell processor, even if it's a dual cell right now, well, actually right now we're in a quad cell, right, in this PS3. But with the current processor, it doesn't have the capabilities to resume and keep that cache on a constant cleaning cycle in order to resume that memory access.
And not even computers do that all that well.
Yeah.
All right, so the gist of what I just got is that...
Yeah, I gave everybody the tech of it.
No, because it was good. I'm glad that I asked it. You're telling me that the PlayStation, that Sony, the people at Sony, they're finally making a console that's going to last us a while? That we're not gonna get no red rings of death. We're not gonna get. They're trying to.
And here's the one thing I do have to say about that. I mean, and this again makes me a PS3 fanboy or a Sony fanboy, is that I mean, in my experience, PlayStation 3s do not go bad.
The only thing I ever seen on PlayStations ever mess up would be the optical drive.
The optical drive. It's always the optical drive. But when you talk about the board, the processing unit, the graphical unit,
it stays cool.
It stays cool. And they've done that. And this is their 4th generation. They've done that since PlayStation 1. I don't recall hearing problems about PS1s, PS2s, PS3s, where it had to do with onboard processors. If anything that I've heard go wrong with the PlayStation 3 has always come down to the optical drive or user error. And it sounds like leaving that console on leads to that user error. You do not give your console the life that it deserves by keeping it on like that, because you're not letting it. It's just like you need sleep as a human.
Right.
It's gonna need that rest.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Machines don't sleep.
Yeah, they do. Now the PlayStation 4 goes to sleep. They'll wake up and be ready to go to school.
So, exclamation point, Xbox, don't use cheap silicon to put your chipset on.
Maybe. Where are Xbox made? Where do they get made? Do they get made in Japan and China, or are they made here in the U.S.? Because
I think it's like South Korea.
Singapore.
You know what? It could be Singapore. Could. That's where they go and make the CDs for Windows. And
Definitely Beijing.
So I mean, maybe you need to list some of Sony's manufacturing
in the galley
companies.
of a Hong Kong boat.
Get Sony to. That's it, Microsoft. Get Sony to make your console.
That's exactly where they're made at.
They're made
on a Hong Kong boat.
They're made in the galley of the Hong Kong boat on the way over here.
No, they should be made on the dock, like right on the dock. Forget the galley. Like I want them right on the surface so I can do a flyover and see
right
them
on
made.
the poop deck.
That's how on the poop deck. That's how everything keeps getting leaked. They're flying over the poop deck taking images. All right, so I mean. Like I said, the things they're putting into it, we talked about the share button, we talked about the auto on. How about the access to games?
Wow, well they're still gonna have they're re-innovating the cloud, the PSN network.
Right, PSN.
You still have all those features that you have from PS3, just on bigger and better, and moving on forward.
And I think one of the biggest things in that, saying just better, is that you're gonna be able to purchase games off of PSN and play them immediately.
Yes,
there's no wait time for downloading. There's no wait time for loading the game, loading assets. They have where you download a game, you're getting a small chunk of it, and you're gonna be able to play that immediately. The rest of those assets are downloaded in the background as you're playing.
Yep.
I absolutely love it, because I can't stand right now to where I see a demo that comes out or new DLC that comes out, and I go buy it off the PlayStation Network, and I have to wait for it to download.
Now,
and literally, I'm waiting like 4 to 6 hours sometimes.
Okay, now speaking on that, the PlayStation Network now is much slower.
As it stands now,
much slower than Xbox Network, because I guess it's free.
What I think the newest update that they made to the network is kind of good to me.
I'm glad that
I like
he said
it.
that. Is because I don't think that it's because it's free. Because we have not we, but in the Man Cave we have a PlayStation Plus,
Right.
the Elite account, and it's still slow.
It's still slow. So I don't think this is about being free. I think it's more about the way that they access it. Now, PlayStation has always been able to access theirs through Flash. That's how they've always been able to do the access to the PlayStation Store. They've updated how it accesses it through Flash, and now adding HTML5 support has kind of sped up the accessibility to the PlayStation Network. But Microsoft has always been able to access their network on their own operating system. That's how they access Xbox Live.
And it's pretty fast.
And that's what gives it that speed for the access and also speed for downloading. And that's one thing I would say, too. When I'm playing on PlayStation and I know I'm going to want to play some DLC outside of Black Ops, because at the time I didn't have an Xbox. But if I did, I would have bought Black Ops 2 on Xbox. Just like I did buy Devil May Cry on Xbox. I got Metal Gear Rising on Xbox because I know when that DLC comes out, I'm going to want to hit that DLC immediately, not wait for long download times. I know on PlayStation, I'm going to experience a long download time. Regardless of loading it, regardless of even accessing it, whether it's time delay or whatever, when I want it, I want to be able to download it. Xbox will download a gig file in less than 2 minutes.
Especially when you have the fastest internet you can have in your city.
And we do have that here in the Man Cave, but still when I go to Xbox or PlayStation Network, a 2 gig file, it's taking me about 3 hours to grab that, and it's unfortunate, So knowing that a PlayStation 4 can do better,
fix that.
Yeah,
we're fixing that problem.
I'm excited about it. So I mean, there's a lot of other things. Well, that's basically it about the console. We've seen rumors about price points. Maybe we just say that for another show. But they're talking. What are they talking right now, P-Double?
We're anywhere from $429, $430 plus tax to $530 plus tax.
Yeah.
I mean, and what was the PS3? At one time, it was almost like
PS3 launched on its highest on its highest. What do you call it? Box set.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they had 3 different ones. On its highest box set was $699.
So there you go.
Already, like, so now I'm giving the PlayStation, I'm giving Sony a chance. You're not gonna go all the way up to the elbow on me, but you might get to the wrist. That's all right.
How far? Okay.
If I want to play some good games, like, I just gotta throw it out there. If I want to play some Watch Dogs on a PlayStation 4,
right?
I'll don't like the wrist, but
you'll go ahead and take the elbow.
I'll take it for the team.
Definitely.
So before we get to the games, I gotta mention this, and this is making a lot of people angry. I was angry at first. I was kind of upset about it, but after this 2-hour reveal announcement of the PlayStation 4, they showed no PlayStation 4.
Yes. So the development for the casing, the box, the cube,
the form factor.
Circle.
It's all about the form factor. We see the PlayStation Eye. We got a couple images of PlayStation Eye, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that talk about that too, but we don't have no development on how this thing's gonna look yet.
And man, it's just like, for me, do we have that PlayStation Eye up back there? For me, yeah, it's the white image. It's basically just sitting on top of a set box, but
so
it's just this long bar, and it doesn't look attractive at all. I gotta tell you,
well,
it doesn't look attractive.
It's basically the Eye from the Xbox, just like the Live.
It looks just like it.
I
Yeah,
want to say like the Kinect.
It kind of has that same kind of architecture to it.
Mm-hmm.
You see the dual lenses on it, but like
I'm gonna give you a side view. Maybe you can get you a little better glimpse for it.
But it doesn't look good at all. It just doesn't look good.
It hangs there. It looks like a center speaker for surround sound.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It kind of looked like a pack of 9-volt batteries to me.
It looks like the Xbox one without the stand.
So I'm really not sure if this is like the final form of it
in development.
Yeah, I hope they made that look better, but. If this is why we're waiting to see the actual PlayStation 4 console, because we don't want to see this crap, then take your time and show it to us later. But Listen, a lot of people. We got a little cut really quick from the presenter of it of what he was saying about the box of the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
And he really wasn't talking on the box, but it's the way he said it. So let's listen to that really quick.
We believe that PlayStation 4 represents a significant shift from thinking of PlayStation as merely a box or a console to thinking of PlayStation as a leading authority on play. For gamers around the world, PlayStation is the best place to play.
That's what he's saying about, whether or not, is it really a console? I think that's what they were getting at. Is the PlayStation 4 really a console, or is it really a new way to play? And he's getting away from us thinking about the box you see.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the reason why they did not show the box, because they don't want you to dwell on the box.
Now, didn't we have kind of like a couple episodes back? Didn't we have a prototype?
Some
right? What was it?
concept?
The PlayStation Sphere.
Yeah, it was a video about a spear that's dropping.
So it really wasn't that wasn't the concept that they
who knows if it's gonna be a spear, it's gonna be a rectangle, it's gonna be a flat sheet of paper. Who cares? I think that's what they're saying. Who cares what it's gonna be?
I would keep it looking like the PlayStation Slim. It looks real good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that design, and you still have the big boxy amp like PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what I was saying last season. I still had the thought that the next PlayStation 4 wouldn't be a box. I thought it wouldn't be a console. I thought it would be more of a set type device that just sits there. But it still looks like they are talking about making retail copy games. It was still, and actually, you know what? I've got to back up here. I'm just coming to this realization. They never once mentioned anything about a drive. Beyond the hard drive, they never mentioned once about a Blu-ray drive or any CD-ROM drive.
Well, I think there was going to still be a Blu-ray.
Maybe they're steering away.
They never specifically mentioned anything about an optical drive.
Right.
They said a hard drive specifically.
So what are we saying? We might have we purchase USBs?
No, let me ask you a question.
It may just be cloud-based only.
Exactly what I was going to say. Everything is cloud-based is what everybody's moving towards.
It may only be cloud-based.
But do you really need a Blu-ray drive if you're cloud-based?
I don't think so.
No, you can watch everything
you can
off a
stream
cloud.
28 gigs of information over a cloud.
You're not talking about streaming it. You're talking about accessing it and downloading it to a hard drive.
You're going to download it
when you need it to. Okay. But we're talking about backwards compatibility. They did say no.
But here's the reason why you're going to be able to do this, and this is going to be great. What if, when they talk about putting this hard drive in PlayStation 4, that this hard drive comes already pre-partitioned to active live play and saved play? So what if you're able to go ahead and get a game and put it into your active play, and because you're able to get that game and get the core files immediately so you can play immediately, and everything else downloads in the background to your live play partition.
Okay.
When you're done with that game, you don't have to worry about how much more room you got when you want to play the next game or buy another game. You can decide to go ahead and play another game, and it recaches your live play partition. So you're no longer talking about having to have a CD-ROM drive. If you're able to immediately access downloadable games, and you have a hard drive, which they say was one of the main things that they need to put into it, a hard drive.
Awesome SSD. Right?
They said awesome hard drive. Now I would not venture away from saying that it would not be a solid state drive.
Of course,
I can see something like that happening, and them not going with a CD optical drive. Without an optical drive, you put in a solid state hard drive.
No backwards compatibility, and I say that with exclamation points.
And that could be a reason why.
Yeah,
that could be a true reason why, and that's why if you hear them back, I think we're coming up to an actual epiphany right now. Because when they say that only some PS3 games will be able to play on the PlayStation 4, that means the PS3 games that are available right now on PlayStation Network. That's what they're saying. So they're not saying. Now they did get away. I did read an article that they were saying that the PlayStation 4 will not ban used games. It will allow you to play your used games.
Well, how?
But I think that's a different take on it. What they're saying is they're going to allow you to play the games you already own as long as you own them on the PlayStation Network.
Wow.
Or possibly give you the ability without them phasing out the 3. I'm making a lot of
accusations.
Not accusations, just not even assumptions. I just like the speculation of it.
Speculation.
But what if they were able to say, okay, there's a way that you can prove that you own this CD copy of this game, a retail copy of this game. We'll give you the code for the online version of the game.
I said that last show?
Yeah, I think it was last show, yeah.
I said that they could do that easily.
So there you have it. That's how they allow you to play your used games
on the PlayStation.
On the PlayStation 4.
So I can still go buy a PS3 game at GameStop. Thank you, GameStop. And take it back to the house and call it in or register it in. I have this game. Here's the serial code. Here's a picture. Here's me holding the game on my social network.
I don't think you gotta go through all that.
Okay.
If you gotta hold the game and everything, I'm just gonna go to your house and hold up all your games.
Exactly. So there we go. There's another avenue of I'm gonna come over and borrow your game.
But I see registering the game. Like when you register the game with a proof of purchase.
I let Braz borrow my game, PlayStation Network. He's playing it.
Yeah.
Play it.
I mean, I really think that that's going to be something special. Even with the sharing feature, yeah, people are going to be able to see that I'm playing a game. They're talking about putting in their own branded social network into the PlayStation 4. You're going to see that I'm playing a game. You're going to be able to immediately jump in and play that game with me. Whether or not you can play that game with me without owning it, that's going to be something special. That would definitely be something special. I'm probably sure a select few games will probably have
like this is my friend. So he should be able to join my game.
If I invited you, I can invite up to 3 friends to play a game with me, and they don't have to own it. I think that would be something extraordinary.
That is changing a game experience for the next level.
So these are the things we want to see in the PlayStation 4 that we're only going by speculation of what was announced and not announced yesterday. But based on what they told us, we don't think we're far off from being able to do this in the next generation console. And I'm for one, really excited to see something like that.
And if that's the case, then I can kind of see what Steam was talking about on their Steam box, but I just don't see how they can give it to everyone for free.
But they didn't say that it was going to be free right off the bat.
Just really at a low cost or something.
Introduce it at a low cost. Eventually, it will wind up free.
Okay.
So I can see, just like right now, if they're talking about putting in no optical drive and a solid state hard drive, pre-partitioned, large enough to be able to download games, share those games with your friends and fellow gamers, able to stream that all out. Yeah, I expect that box to be about $600. So
this is going to be like not the PlayStation 4. It's going to be like the Sony Dream.
Orbis.
Something like this.
It's the Orbis. But hey, they already named the PlayStation 4. They got a whole logo after it now.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
You got to stick with it.
PS4.
But I mean, when you're able to do something like that, I don't know. Maybe I'll go on record right now. I would be willing to pay $600 for that. For something like that, I think I would be willing to pay $600 for.
Do you hear that, Sony? Only Larry Braz. Now that's Larry Braz at 1Life2Play.
But imagine what you're getting. You're getting your PlayStation 3 access. You're getting the ability to do it on any other mobile device. They're talking about the dual screens, doing it on your tablet, doing it on your phone.
We didn't talk about that all platforms, Apple, Android, Windows tablet.
They're basically opening up platforms.
And
become a screen to your gameplay.
That was special when he said that too. Did you guys catch when he said that? He said Windows tablet. That was a smack in the face. Like there was no tomorrow.
Able to use
you
that.
already know that Microsoft and all them people.
They're gonna try to blackball that, huh? Throw that out the window.
Well, they actually
it's gonna work anyway because it's an app.
You really
it's gonna be an app. It's gonna be an app.
You really
they'll probably charge you $59.99, right? Windows. You want to
they can say we don't
Sony,
want it on our store.
It was $100 to get that app on my store.
No, they're just gonna never update it. It's gonna be glitchy.
Yeah.
Just the Windows part because you already know that it's coming from Microsoft.
So congratulations to Sony.
Now to make that.
But you know what? If it was me though, if I'm into Sony like that, I probably wouldn't even be owning a Windows tablet anyway.
Yeah. Well, but what about you have a Sony Ericsson? Remember their PlayStation phone?
Yeah.
Yep. So they already have this linked up with Android pretty good.
And they've already been linking up PlayStation Vita with the PS3.
So
when the PS Vita gets the power of the PlayStation 4, man.
Now you have a Vita
So
tablet.
you're telling me that the Windows Phone is gonna be able to access my PS4?
Oh man. Oh man.
See, we are crossing lines, and there's boundaries.
We're not crossing the lines. This is Sony crossing some lines.
Well,
We're gonna cross some lines.
They're setting up some pretty straightforward
Maybe
battles
it won't
that
be
they gotta iron out.
your HD7 or the newest Windows tablet that comes out.
But if it's not, it's on everything else. Who cares?
But it's gonna be on everything else.
Yeah, who cares at that point?
Yeah, basically at that point, that's insanity.
Man, I can't wait. I'm
very
excited.
amped up about it. I talked to my wife. She already said I'm getting a PS4, and it's gonna be mine.
We're already saving.
Right, it's
super
mine.
sweet. I need a PS3. Who's in the running?
You need a PS3. First, I gotta get all my games off of it. I gotta figure out how to do that.
No trade backs.
I'm still keeping my PS3. It's gonna be my Blu-ray player for my next miniature man cave B setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man Cave Studios B, Site B.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Site B. But like when you say that, like you're keeping your PS3, I think that's another incredible thing that they did in this whole announcement reveal. They didn't disregard the PS3. They didn't say it's like, we're gonna get into the games in just a bit here. But most of these games that they announced that are launching on PS4 are also coming to PS3. And when you have something like that happening, it's just like, I mean, you pulled in one generation of one audience of a generation and matching it up to cross them over into a new generation and garner more at the same time. You're not abandoning that soul population there.
And that's
a
good point. That's a good point that you also made. It's gonna be up to the gamer. I want to experience this game. Do I want to experience this game better?
Exactly.
Just like on a PC, if I can experience this game, can I experience this game better?
Because I guess like right now, I can go buy a PC and play some Crysis 3, and it's going to look extremely better than when I'm playing on my 360 right now. And possibly I can go build that PC with your help for about $600-700 and still get that done, right?
Yes.
But I'm not going to do that.
No.
Because that takes a little bit more into it. I've got to get, operating systems. I got to get all sorts of other stuff, too.
It's fun, though.
When you have a console that costs about the same and you're able to experience a better game.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably something people are going to clamor for. But at the same time, I don't see a rush of, people who are going to buy a PlayStation 4 doing it by trading in their PS3.
No.
I see them by keeping that PS3 and adding a PlayStation 4 to that
to their
library.
household.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's great.
Let's see. Another thing would be that they said that everyone would have a living room PC or console or however you want to call it. So the times are definitely going as predicted.
There will be a console in every living room. It will be something in every living room. Some sort of mass streaming access.
Of course, if not the
pads.
No. If not the crap.
What's
it's
that? Apple TV.
Apple TV.
Apple
Why was I
TV?
thinking
Well, there's the Roku box.
There's the Roku box. There's the Apple TV.
Yep.
I think you got the Ouya.
Ouya.
And then you got your I'm sorry, I don't have the.
Yeah, we didn't get the sound.
But we will have the Ouya here in the building. Yes, and you got your consoles and stuff, and then you got little knockoff third generations or something. Everybody's coming out with a set top box, and remember we were talking about it. Now that you brought that up, we thought that the PlayStation was gonna come out with a set top box.
Yeah, but I still see the PlayStation 4 being that set top box now. Losing the optical drive, sticking with the solid state hard drive.
So is that why they didn't show us the box?
I think that's why because you bring up a point. I mean, if I expand on that, the reason why they probably didn't show that box is because there's too much time between a launch of something like that to show that. It's just like why Steam won't show their box, and Ouya is still only on the verge of coming out.
It gives other people in the market a chance to either duplicate or try to make it better.
And there's a great drive of competition. Let the Steam box drop. Let Nvidia's portable set top sort of thing drop. On Live's already been out. Let Ouya go ahead and drop. And then this is Sony saying, "Look how we made it look better." We already told you what's in it. Look how we made it look better.
I love how they went to the developers.
Oh man, I just had a head.
Rush.
It might have been an aneurysm, head rush, or something. I just thought about this. What if a PlayStation 4 is now going to be able to be built into the Sony Bravia TV?
That's going to be...
Of course Sony's going to have an app accessible for your Sony Bravia. I can already see it.
No, not an app accessible. What if Sony Bravia with the PlayStation 4?
To your 3D television.
Because if you lose your optical drive and you're only talking about putting the processor in and the hard drive in it, graphics processor with a built-in monitor that you're looking at already for the TV,
then I want to work for Sony.
I need an employee discount on that.
I want to work for Sony. They're gonna need technicians to go around.
They're gonna need beta testers.
They're gonna need beta testers. Listen, guy, I will dedicate 8 hours of my day to being at home and playing the shit out of that.
It's gonna be a 3D television.
You can honestly, I can totally see that happening. If the PlayStation 4 winds up being a set-top box, give it a year and it will be put into a Sony Bravia TV off the rip, out of the box.
Speaking of that, they already have the technology where you're seeing one thing and the other user that's playing the same system is using the same size screen, same TV, and you cannot see what they're doing.
This next generation is going to be absolutely amazing. We got one amazing feature that I've seen already. We had David Cage come up during an announcement trailer. He was talking about character animation, the evolution of character animation across these generations of consoles.
From Mario bouncing up and down
to the way Tomb Raider, Lara Croft introduced, to what we saw in Heavy Rain, and then what we're going to be able to see in the PlayStation 4. So let's take a listen to David Cage and see what he has to say. We're going to come off camera for a bit, take a quick break. Definitely take a listen to what David Cage has to say. We'll get into that, and then we'll be back on the other side with the games of PlayStation 4 and some around the room, and then we'll have a good conversation about one of our favorite games, hopefully coming out this year. If we have to wait till 2014, we'll go ahead and wait and give them the time.
We've already been waiting
Watch
this long.
Dogs. While you're watching David Cage speak or listening to him, go ahead and open up the tab on your browser, get over to Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube.
Come check us
all
out
that
on the
stuff
Steam
going.
community,
1Life2Play.
Yeah, that's 1Life2Play on the Steam community. Put that 1L2P in front of your Steam name, and you got everything going. So here's this David Cage right here behind us. We'll get off now.
When people ask me, what is the feature you want the most on future hardware platforms? My answer is always the same: emotion. Getting the player emotionally involved is the holy grail of all game creators. We all try to trigger intense, subtle, and diverse emotions. We try to make players forget that this is just a program animating pixels on the screen. We don't want them just to watch something. We want them to live it and suspend their disbelief, experiencing that magic moment where they live in a different reality. Emotion is something complex and challenging to capture. It's conveyed by graphics, animation, sound, cinematography, dialogue, of course, gameplay. In a medium like ours, technology is very important. It is what we rely on to get the player emotionally involved. If you look in the past, some films were highly emotional while being silent and in black and white. But they were limited in their expression to simpler stories that had to be told under heavy technical constraints. Actors had to exaggerate their moves to convey their emotions. Cameras could hardly move, and lighting as well as photography were barely concepts at the time. Cinema really became what it is today when technology evolved enough to let movie directors and actors create the subtle emotions they wanted on screen. Eventually, they developed sound, color, lighting, and higher resolution formats, and suddenly, the audience could see in the eyes of the actors when they were lying or when they were about to cry. Pantomimes were not necessary anymore because the most subtle nuances of emotions could be seen on screen. With the PlayStation 4, games have now finally reached that stage. In 1999, Quantic Dream's first game, Omicron, featured characters with 350 polygons. Indigo Prophecy's main characters were around 1,500 polys. Heavy Rain's characters were about 15,000. Chara at 20,000. This year, Jodie Holmes and beyond will be about 30,000 polygons. On PlayStation 4, this is what you can get. Quantic Dream has developed a completely new engine. What you see is running in real-time 3D on a PlayStation 4. It is our first attempt at using advanced skin shaders with translucency, realistic eyes shaders, volumetric lights, 3D depth of field, and many, many other features that were up until today reserved to CG films. This is the quality that we will get in our future games, and we know we can go even further. But more important than these technical features, we start to reach a point where you can see very subtle emotions on the face of a character, where you can feel his emotions just looking at his face, where you can see his soul just looking into his eyes. When you look at this old man, you can imagine who he is, what he thinks, what happened to him, without him saying a word. With the PlayStation 4, game creators can now forget about the technology limitations and simply focus on inventing experiences never seen before. We can concentrate on what amazing stories we want to tell and what incredible worlds we want to create. We can take you to places you have never been before and make you feel emotions that you have never felt in real life without having to wonder if we will have the horsepower to do so. We are now only limited by our imagination. Thank you.
All right, that was David Cage, one of the greats out there. But man, he's got these so scary eyes back here. This is what they've been working on. This is 30,000
plus
polygons. Yeah, 30,000 plus polygons.
I mean, look at, like, you can see the detail work.
Yeah, he's making me scary. Actually, watch me back here.
Not to throw us off, but a big shout out to my buddy D Money, who's all of our buds in here. Mm-hmm. He kind of hooked us up with some music. So to complement the scary eyes while you guys talk, I'm gonna bring up a little bit of music.
Okay, let's get that.
All right, go ahead.
Lift your leg up. You got some green screen in the bar. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we got those are some scary eyes, but they were talking about like Heavy Rain. The characters Heavy Rain have 15,000 polygons, but this one's going with 30, and
they're definitely staying the doubling it up.
But they're talking about these games that they're gonna be making. Like there's gonna be The Witcher, Wild Hunt, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. That game coming out. They're talking about using character animation and capturing like they did in the movie Avatar.
Wow.
They're talking about using it's on that kind of scale.
That is amazing.
And oh man, I can't wait to see a game that looks that beautiful. My only problem that I'm going to have is by the end of this year, I'm going to need to buy a better TV.
Yes.
Because if games are looking as good, I don't think my TV is going to catch up to that.
I'm also in the hunt for a TV.
Yeah, and I was visiting on President's Day the many retail stores where we can look at TVs, and I've seen a 90-inch Sharp Aqua.
90 inch? I don't think I need a 90 inch.
Listen,
I can put a 90 inch.
Now, you don't need a 90. Not to jump off topic, but 60 and better.
60 is too small now.
Let me tell you.
70 or 80.
Aqua Sharp, the true Aqua Sharp. Mm-hmm. My buddy got like a 55 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Well, 50,
and it's super big.
I think 55 is just enough.
52 to 60. 52 is native to 1080p. You're not losing resolution.
No,
okay. Anything
TV,
bigger than that, you're stretching resolution or you're shrinking resolution.
This TV really does have it down pat. I give it to, and I've been on the TV.
Yeah, I need me like a 55 inch.
Sharp Aquas is beautiful.
Yes,
that's true HD.
We all agreed in our household that our next TV is going to be a Sharp.
Oh yeah,
it's probably that's mine too.
That's my next
it's probably
TV.
Gonna be a Sharp, unless the PlayStation 4 goes to Bravia.
Thank you, Sharp.
Well, but Sharp has a yellow LED. And I kid you not, the screen's only like an inch.
Yeah, but again, I like the Sharp, but if a PlayStation 4 is built into the Sony, my next TV is gonna be a Sony.
Which the Bravia is not a bad TV.
No, not at all.
I think the Vizio, which is Sony, right?
The Vizio is who's making it? They use Sony parts? No, it's somebody else making that TV.
Yeah, but I think the Vizio comes from a Sony.
Out of a Sony shop? You might be right.
It's one of the best TVs out right now.
Yeah, I know it's one of the highest selling. So
Yeah,
people are going to get those Vizios. I don't know if I get a Vizio.
Thank you to the NFL sponsorship. No.
Oh, no, we're not sponsoring Vizio.
No,
I wish we were sponsored by Vizio.
That's why Vizio is doing so well. They're advertised on like every NFL game.
Oh, really? I guess I don't really see too many commercials of Vizio anymore. I don't see. You know what? I actually don't. I don't see many Vizio commercials anymore. They just kind of like are popular by word of mouth.
Yeah.
You know? They're just
But
kind
I
of out
definitely, I looked at the 80. I looked at the 70.
Man, so yeah, I might have to get another TV to see these kind of eyes like I see behind me. But let's go on to the games. I mean, some of the games. You just put now he looks Indian. Now he's an Indian dude.
The third eyeball going on.
But okay, so
the games.
Some of the games that are coming out. I know I want to show this trailer really quick, but we're gonna talk about it in just a second. We got a graphic, the logo behind us for Killzone. I think it's Shadowfall.
Killzone was one of the PlayStation's.
PlayStation's great. That's the baby right there.
Yes, and it was pretty fun to just. What was that? I felt like Unreal Tournament or Quake.
Yeah,
I felt like
always.
that. Like I felt that intensity created back in first-person style console games.
So yeah, let's take a look at the trailer for this Killzone Shadowfall.
30 years ago, our home world was swept away in a tide of so-called justice. Millions of men, women and children lost their lives. But some of us refused to lay down and die. Some of us refused to accept your shallow pleas for forgiveness. We are the generation forged in the fires. And this is our day.
All right, that was Killzone Shadowfall. I like what they're doing with the story.
I mean,
I thought after 3 it was over. They did it again. Guerrilla Games. I mean, they're always about making an epic situation more epic, like
and also with outstanding visual aspects.
Lighting effects looked amazing.
Yes.
So I like the lighting. I like the character movement. What I really liked from seeing in that trailer is the pedestrians, the environment you were in. It seemed to react to exactly what was going on, and they reacted with full body motion, great animation to them, and there were literally thousands of things moving on that screen at once.
Yeah.
And I like to see that kind of stuff. They had the million particle effect. What do you call it? Proof of concept video playing during the announcements, and literally they had an environment or scene in game that was multiple levels, had corridors, outdoor scene, and things like that. And you literally saw a sheet of blue particles form at the top of the sky and all drop at once. And basically, all those blue particles, those blue bits, there were a million of them, and they all contacted with the environment in the way they should. Rolled off of rooftops, fell into corners.
Thank you, NVIDIA
bounced off walls. It just looked absolutely amazing to know that on this PlayStation 4, you can have up to, if not more, just slightly more, a million objects interacting at one time.
Right.
It's just amazing. But you mentioned while we were watching that trailer, this is available on both PlayStation consoles.
System release-al.
So release-al?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna call it the release.
And I will be rehearsing on one of those systems.
This rehearsing.
Rehearsing gameplay.
Rehearsing gameplay. I'm going to be killing some dudes in third person of Killzone on one of them.
Well, on one of those systems.
Obviously, again, I mean, the PS4 is going to look better than the PS3. But I honestly can't say that the PS3 is going to look bad either.
No.
You know, when you look at the game that was just released last week, Metal Gear, or this past week, Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance, that game looked absolutely astounding on the PlayStation 3.
I actually would think it would look better on PlayStation 3 for some reason.
Than PlayStation 4?
No. Than it did on Xbox.
Than it did on Xbox.
You traitor.
Maybe. From the other reviews, you can check out our review of Metal Gear Rising on our website at 1Life2Play.com.
Always check out our review.
Always check out our reviews, but you can catch that Metal Gear Rising over at 1Life2Play. You got a review coming up pretty soon, some Aliens, Colonial Marines. But in some other reviews I've read around the web, there's not that much difference in the console type that you're getting that on for Metal Gear Rising. The same for Crysis 3. They say like either console you get it on, it kind of plays the same. Yeah, you're gonna be impressed. It plays the same. No graphical glitches. I know Devil May Cry had some graphical screen tearing on the PlayStation version, not on the Xbox. It was a little smoother in frame rate and things like that. But I mean, those two latest games, Crysis 3 and Metal Gear Rising, kind of the same. And I don't know if the comparison's even needed because I don't see Killzone ever coming out on Microsoft. So maybe it's not even a question we need to ask. But one thing that is coming out on PlayStation that may possibly make its way over to Microsoft if they don't come out with Forza 720 around E3, and that's Drive Club.
Yeah.
I really hoped that was a working title. They never mentioned that it was. But Drive Club just sounds generic. It sounds like something that would be on the Wii. But looking at it,
I think it's going to stay on PlayStation.
Well,
no,
it might
be like Midnight Club passed over from PlayStation to Xbox, didn't it?
Yeah, Midnight Club. Yeah, Midnight Club passed over.
So,
I kind of think this is PlayStation 4's Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see it like that. You know, but taking a look at the trailer, I think you will get that Gran Turismo feel. So
definitely good out and watch some Fast and Furious, and then get home and play a game like this.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. All right, so that's Drive Club. You see how you kind of really get that Gran Turismo feel right there, just off the bat, right?
I almost felt like Need for Speed 1 almost there.
No, I felt like Gran Turismo, man. That's Gran Turismo. I just see the smooth graphics. I already see licensed vehicles. I see graphics at play.
Licensed
that's what I
see.
I
like that.
So that's
jump
Drive
in my
Club.
Ferrari, and I'm gonna spill it all out.
That's probably one thing I will say. I mean, maybe stick with the name because I really love the logo. I love the logo, the Drive Club. That looks pretty sweet. So, another game that they mentioned, they didn't really have a trailer for it. They showed a video, but there was no trailers that could really be found. But they were kind of like video shots, and that's the new Infamous, Infamous Second Son.
Wow. Well, I played Infamous.
You played the second one too?
And a little bit into the second one.
Maybe you got to finish the second one because this sounds like there's another Cole out there.
Wow.
So maybe that's something that we'll get some more news on E3. Maybe even GDC. I guess that's no, not GDC. PAX East.
So
it's coming up in about a month.
I just when I play that game, I kind of felt almost like Assassin's Creed with special powers, but
yeah.
Assassin's Creed was still more, it's a little more polished out, but I just felt like the world, the whole, I can climb to the top of a building thing.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool.
For me, when I played Infamous, it was right around the time that I played Prototype as well. But it was really both of those games. I won't say that one reminded me of the other. That's where a lot of people send their comparisons to. You know, Prototype is like Infamous. Infamous is like Prototype. I really think both those games were like Crackdown. You remember Crackdown?
Yeah, I remember Crackdown.
Now that's where I say both of those games were really a honed in, you know, more focused version. It was a more focused version of Crackdown. Yeah. And that's where I give that hat off to, whether it was Infamous or Infamous 2, Prototype 1, Prototype 2. I give that credit to Crackdown. And I really love playing that. Yeah, I really love playing that. And that's where I think that third person open world sandbox gameplay like that really, you know, grew from. Forget Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto was something totally different. I don't say Crackdown was anything like Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto to me was never really a sandbox until you got to San Andreas, and then after that they took a step back. You know, they did kind of make it a little bit more linear when you talk about Grand Theft Auto 4. So yeah, the only open world, open sandbox Grand Theft Auto I'd say is gonna be San Andreas. But when you talk about those third-person sandbox games, like this Second Son is gonna be, give that credit to Crackdown. So those are the games that really stood out to us. Just other tidbits. I mean, Diablo 3 coming to PlayStation 4.
Excellent.
First Blizzard game on a console. Super excited. Wish they would have done World of Warcraft on a console with everything they can.
I think that would have worked perfect.
Everything they keep saying that the PlayStation 4 can do, why not World of Warcraft?
Well, see, and I don't want to dig too deep, and I know when I mention this, we're going to dig so deep. But
now that you want to dig, let's dig.
So me and P-Double, we're having a conversation on our way here to Man Cave Studios, one of the best studios in Central Earth, honestly. But
downtown Earth.
So we were saying, StarCraft, why would StarCraft never make it to a console? And it basically came down to one word. It's your graphics. It's basically the graphics card. It probably wouldn't be able
to handle 600 plus units battling it at once.
No, I kind of back up from that. I really think StarCraft won't be on console, especially a next generation console, because it doesn't have enough to show.
It's too much.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
If you put WoW on the console, that's basically my final conclusion, which is if you put WoW on the console, brother, you have to have an engine graphics.
If you're able to put games like you're talking about Destiny and games like The Witcher 3, games like Watch Dogs on PlayStation 4, you'll be able to put a persistent environment.
Did you say Watch Dogs?
Watch Dogs.
WoW
you can put a persistent world like WoW on there. You can't put StarCraft on there because it doesn't have enough to show.
No,
I think the graphics are great. I'm not taking that away from it, but I think there's nothing when you look at if you're talking about trying to transition one of Blizzard's games to a console, what would you be more happier to see graphic-wise? Do you think they're going to add anything new to the graphics of StarCraft to take advantage of the power of the PlayStation 4?
The question will be, I have a doubt in my mind that PlayStation 4 could run StarCraft 2.
I don't. I think it'll run it too easy. Now, I think you can run StarCraft right now on PS3.
This is where it gets to. I think, like I said, I think PS4 can handle that. Home consoles wouldn't be able to do StarCraft 2. They can do WoW.
Yeah, see, I think that's our fundamental disagreement there, and
they
it
can't
probably
do
comes down to our love for the different titles.
That's eight players networked. Each player maxes out at 300, 400 units, 300 units.
Yeah.
And each of those 300 units have their polygons and hexagons and all kinds of created. The world has that too.
But you're still not talking about on the screen at the same time.
The world has that too. That can happen at one time. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying it can happen at one time.
It can happen. So if everyone just converged to the middle and battled with all these units, you're just going to be like,
literally, likely. What's the likelihood of that happening?
So that's why they would not do
Playing
that.
the StarCraft 2 battle. What's the likelihood of that happening?
That's why they would not do that.
I think it would do it
just like
fine.
they did on the other ones. They dropped the multiplayer to 4.
To me,
like
StarCraft units still look like sprites.
Or a 4-4 FFA. StarCraft 2 is not sprites. Come to my house, I'll show you.
I've seen StarCraft 2. I got it on my computer. I don't play it because it still looks graphically immature.
Please don't talk to P-Double about StarCraft.
That goes about what graphics cards you have.
My graphics card can max out StarCraft 2, it maxes out Diablo 3, and it maxes out World of Warcraft, Mr. Pandaria.
He's lying. How many frames a second you get on StarCraft 2?
60 frames per second.
No, he really
Okay, so that's not maxed out.
So wait, what can you do on StarCraft 2?
I'm doing like Chad's doing like 264 frames a second. I'm doing like 184 frames a second. And that's ultra. That's ultra. Everything on ultra.
You're playing on an ultra.
Yeah.
All right. Then
that's everything on ultra.
I'll probably be doing the same thing because my settings say ultra. I thought it was only going at 60 frames per second.
On 8 cores at 3.2.
I put them all at ultra. And I'll show you my settings. I'll show you my settings after the show.
He doesn't play StarCraft 2.
I played it once, and I'll show you the settings of when I played it.
We're gonna look at that.
All right. We'll look at it. All right. So. That was Diablo. That was Blizzard's game.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, you heard it earlier.
That's
Destiny.
coming. That's coming.
Destiny is also coming to PlayStation 4. So they look like they're coming out with a good launch library of games. They're doing it right this time. PlayStation 3 lacked in launch titles.
Yeah.
They look like they're doing it right this time.
They got somebody that's working over there in marketing. And they're like, we have to push this and that, and these are selling points now. I do have a Watch Dogs trailer.
Yeah, we got the Watch Dogs trailer. We're going to get the Watch Dogs. You want to knock out some around the room? Have you been playing anything? Do we need around the room?
I mean,
I've been
playing some things.
I mean, we can knock out a quick around the room. Why not?
Let's go ahead and do it around the room. Let's get that done. I've been jumping into some different things. I'm sure you have. So let's go ahead and tell our listeners. All right, so this is Around the Room.
Welcome to Around the Room.
I'm Larry Braz. This is P-Double. 1Life2Play. Make sure you check us out on YouTube and Facebook. This is the point of the show where we tell you what we've been playing over the past week. We always want to hear about what you guys have been playing over this past week and however long you've been playing that game. If it's something that we should play, go ahead and let us know on Facebook or on Twitter. You can find that at 1Life2Play. Search for us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Like, subscribe, comment, join in the fun. So, P-Double, what have you been getting into this past week?
I beat Aliens.
Aliens, Colonial Marines.
Colonial Marines. I was in it, and I felt it was wonderful.
You have to weigh at some super net extraterrestrial
xenomorphs.
Whoa, excuse me. Xenomorphs. All right, go for it. So how was that experience?
Basically, it's a great experience. It's taking place right after the second Alien movie. So it's Aliens. The first one was Alien. Second one's Aliens.
Okay, so that's why I misinterpreted. You sent me a text like, hey, yeah, the story is taking place after Aliens. I misinterpreted that for the first one. Okay, I got you now.
So right
you were like you're pretty much a alien connoisseur, right?
Yeah, I like aliens,
aficionado
Predators,
of aliens,
Terminators, all that good old stuff there.
Okay.
You're coming in as the rescue squad for Ripley's team that was down there and got mollywopped.
Yeah,
by the xenomorph.
Mop.
Yeah, you got mollywopped. But so I fought the Queen. I deterred the Queen.
No spoilers, right?
No spoilers. I'm not going to tell you animations or anything, but you get to see the Queen, and when the Queen's coming, you know the Queen's coming.
But you just said you killed the Queen. Was that a spoiler?
I didn't kill the Queen.
Okay, so stop there. We can stop there?
Yeah, we can stop there, but I didn't kill the Queen.
Okay.
There's no killing queens without, You just don't. She doesn't even die in the movie. You just don't. You can't.
Okay, I'm just saying. It sounded like you started off with a spoiler. I just want to make sure people are aware if you're going to get into depth with this.
No, you just
spoiler alert.
I said I encountered the queen.
You encountered the queen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I evaded the queen. I didn't say I killed the queen.
Okay. So you're a colonial marine. So what's your character all about? Is it worth?
Your name is Winters.
Is the story worth it?
You meet up with Hicks. So these
Hicks?
Yep.
Okay.
You meet up with Hicks, so that's a good thing. He's not dead. And
I think we found that out from Aliens 3.
Aliens 3 they did show him.
We kind of knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
no spoilers again here.
Awesome. It's an awesome storyline. Just go ahead and follow through with that.
Okay.
For all you alien lovers and.
So I was interested in this. I asked you how the multiplayer was.
I was trying to play multiplayer after I beat the game. I even tried before I beat the game.
This is so funny.
It just keeps saying searching. I honestly don't think there's anybody else out there playing Aliens besides me.
Did everybody stop after the first week? Like, is it just not that worth it? You wish you would know. You wish you knew, huh?
Maybe it's not online. Maybe it's just one of those campaign which so few are left, but it's just basically a campaign-driven game.
Well, I mean, that's how Metal Gear Rising is, but it has this game. Aliens has multiplayer.
It has
and it doesn't seem like anybody can go play it.
I wanted. That's basically I'm placed in a position, and we're placed in a position where we have to hold out and just basically exterminate as many as we can, and they're coming.
If anybody out there plays Aliens, Colonial Marines, get at us. Let us know what's going on. Get us on Facebook. If you want to play some multiplayer with P-Double here, let us know.
Please let me know.
So
I'd like to experience those other things. I was just I told my son, like, yeah, if I play in multiplayer mode, I'm just gonna get like an upgraded shotgun, and just anytime an alien comes in within range to kill me, I'm just gonna shoot with the shotgun like 4 times and kill it. But that
you made promises you couldn't keep, huh?
That did not work.
Hey, Lou, can we get a reset on our monitor here? We got anybody in the chat room? Look like we see some. I see some text out there in the chat room. We appreciate you guys watching and joining us. We're gonna try to get our monitor reset over here so we can take a look at what you guys are doing.
And another thing I was playing on my mobile device to kill some time.
Thank you very much, Mo Agnew. I appreciate it. And Platinum Dragons.
Platinum Dragons out there watching.
Yep.
All right,
and
thanks for
Mo Agnew.
We got that shout out Thursdays here, so shout out to Mo Agnew and Platinum.
And Mo Agnew said that the aliens do not look awesome. Burn, I like
She did. She was doing homework or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
But
so what you been playing on your mobile?
Zombie Ace.
Yeah, with the zombies, man.
Come on.
I need dark. I need a vampire game so everybody can shut up about some zombies.
It's basically like Jump Pack Joyride. It's one of the touchscreen games, and
isn't everything becoming to be Jetpack Joyride?
It's pretty cool.
All right.
I'm so sorry. So sorry, Mo Agnew. Yeah, she said it looked awesome.
Oh, she said it did look awesome.
And I'm gonna say she because I got a hint who it is, but she said it did look awesome. But it's not fair because Mo Agnew and Mr. P-Double are over there playing on a big dumbass screen.
65,
HD'd out, surround sound out because
we can't
helped
see that
them
graphic.
put it in.
Yeah. TMI.
So that's P-Double at
All right, so
Zombie Ace.
Is it good? Is it worth it?
It's
on the Android, right?
Yeah, it's a fun game to play, and no, Apple heads can't use it because I tried to get it.
I was about to say, I heard you had access now at this iPad now. You haven't decided to play any games on his iPad yet?
I've been playing Jump Pack Joyride, but I don't want to get too far because then my wife's gonna say that that's her score she got. She did beat me by 200 meters the other day.
You don't have to worry about Jetpack Joyride. There's way more games on the iOS that you can go get that are kind of funner. What I do suggest you go grab is some Total Recall. Based on the movie.
On the iPad?
Yeah, it was one awesome rail shooter. I jump it in every now and then, but I really like some Total Recall.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, definitely check that one out. This past week, I've been playing myself some Metal Gear Rising. Played it for the review. Been playing it since last week. Still playing it some more. I'm excited to go back into more difficulty levels and also get get some good, battle ratings on some VR missions. So I'm going to jump back into that. But I've also been playing some Devil May Cry. Released yesterday was Bloody Palace DLC, which
is our
that's great. That's our weekly steal right there. Let's go ahead and make it official. We got to make that official, but that is some DLC for Devil May Cry.
Well, now where is that?
It's one of those lower. It's one of those bottom bumpers down there for weekly steal. We also got some text up at the top, but
now is the DLC available on PSN?
Now, that DLC is released on all 3 consoles.
There we go. Hallelujah.
Xbox, PS3, and PC.
There we go. Something's done right now.
It is just an added mode to Devil May Cry. It allows you to go through an entire balance. It's almost like a wave. It's more
wave-based.
It's more like a horde base. It's almost like a horde base.
Yeah.
You don't get access to like new weapons or anything like that, but you can really take advantage of the combos that you've developed over your gameplay. It doesn't get unlocked until you finish the game, but yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So that's why I've been playing it, so I can finish that game, or get to Bloody Palace. I'm trying to finish it to get to it. I think I got one more level left. I've been playing a lot of games at once, and that's my biggest problem. Make that official.
And that's my effing problem.
So yeah, that was weekly steal, but we got the preview time behind us, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into that preview. That preview that we got for you is we're gonna take a look at some Watch Dogs.
OMG!
They had a trailer that they played through yesterday, and before we get into talking about it, we just want to go ahead and share that trailer with you guys. Thanks a lot over to Quantum for sharing this with us. Ubisoft as well. It was a tag team effort from Ubisoft. We'll get more into that a bit later. But let's take a look at the trailer, the latest trailer for Watch Dogs, the game.
Peggy 18.
Hi, this is Jonathan Morin, Creative Director on Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs' hyper-connected world will redefine what you think about open-world game. For the very first time, not only you'll be able to explore the city at will, but you'll be able to tap into the privacy of everybody and control everything around you. Today, we want to give you a little taste of what it's like. Everything you're about to see is just another day in the city. There is no mission and no objectives. In Watch Dogs, when you use the profiler, you can invade the privacy of everybody around you. If someone has a secret, you're gonna find it. All the information you're gonna get will be useful to progress in the game. In this case, accessing a bank account. If you think you're alone, think again. You're not. There's always somebody out there. Other people are trying to use the CTOS for their own interest. You will never know where the profiler can lead you. In Watch Dogs, you're creating your own experience by tapping into people's lives. What's cool about it is that the possibilities are endless, and the gameplay extremely unexpected.
I'll call the police. I swear I will.
I'm not gonna let you get away with it.
Don't touch me. I'm warning you.
You don't get to ignore me.
Let me go.
And you think you're so special, huh?
Alex! Oh!
Fuck off! me alone!
911, please state your emergency. Please, you have to get the cops out here. This man just pulled out a gun and started shooting. Hurry! TTOS can't authorize initializing search for suspect now.
Get away from me!
You're gonna control the entire city of Chicago, and even the smallest thing will become a weapon.
Squad, suspect back in view. We are on him. Over. Police, hands on your head!
Cartel units, stand ready for an
Stop! Repeat! Stop where you are! Stop! Now!
When situations gets out of hand,
961
you would be surprised of how many options you have.
ASAP!
This nigga stopped the train.
I hope you've enjoyed the demo. Keep following us to be the first to know about what's going on Watch Dogs.
Man, I'm gonna be a watchdog for Watch Dogs.
I agree.
I'm watching for it.
So definitely getting that game on PS4.
That game is gonna make you get the PS4.
I would believe so. Even if it's released, I just gotta experience the best way I can.
Yeah.
And that would be on the PS4.
I think so. Man, I don't know. Maybe it might look good on a 720. Who knows? I mean, it's Ubisoft. They're not tied to Sony.
I think it's going to look real good on that Xbox.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
Super sensational.
The next Xbox.
They didn't release. They didn't say they were coming out. Did they have a release party like PlayStation did?
Hey, you know what? That's funny. I don't think they need to have a release party. They have a whole. They always come up first at the E3 conference of the Big Three. They always first. And last night, during or like immediately after the conference, it might have been during too, but towards the end, Major Nelson of Xbox sent a tweet out that said, "Oh, have a console reveal and don't show the console." That's one way to go about it.
So he's gonna say. He's saying like, we're gonna show our console when they announce it.
He said, I mean, if you got the hardware, you need to show the hardware at the time if you announcing you got the hardware.
They're going to be full-blown demoing the 720p at the next E3.
He says he's excited to show what Microsoft has to do at the next E3.
So we're having some demo.
And this is what I want to bring up. When we first got a little preview of the Watch Dogs, I immediately got sucked in. Now, I got to give a big shout-out to Magano because she's like, this is a game that I'm going to definitely go by. You can hack anything. Now, imagine that to a female's perspective, that you can hack anything.
Yes.
You can walk around and control every and anything satellite-based.
Wait, what's the female perspective on it? Just hacking?
Just hacking. Just knowing.
Yeah.
Just
I think everybody wants to hack something.
So, yeah, exactly.
And I constantly, so another one that I got to give a big shout out is to Platinum Dragons. He says that he's been playing League of Legends.
Now, that's another game that I played that before, and I like that game.
I tried to play it. I didn't get into it.
I like that game better than WoW.
I was trying to play League of Legends, and it was updating. It was the first time I was getting in, and it took too long to update. I started playing WoW, and then I closed down my Windows side. I couldn't play it. If League of Legends would please just be available on Mac, it would make things so much easier.
A cross-platform battle. That would be
It would just make it so much easier. Please, this League of Legends on Mac, and I don't have to keep on going to the PC side. Just like I want Star Wars: Old Republic on the Mac. Please just do it.
Who doesn't?
I mean, it's just like, why do you keep on forgetting what the Mac can do? I mean, it still has a lot of power.
The Mac can do a lot of things.
So I mean, just give us the games on it. I do appreciate there is why can't I think of it right now? There is one game that is Sims, the next Sims game. I'm really happy that it's gonna launch simultaneously on PC and Mac.
Well, they beefed it up. I mean, they actually went in and not focused on the main character, but focused on the character's environment, their surroundings. So yeah, it's something to check out. Here's my last shout out. You know, I'm a big mobile fan.
He's gonna shout out to himself.
No, not LEM's great. We all know that. But I gotta give it to Slick Entertainment.
Okay.
This studio has
You're a mobile developer, right?
Yes, it's a mobile developer. It's a game that's on Android, and if anybody likes to kill some time, Shell Razor.
Okay.
Shell Razor is your game to play. Now, this is. And
I hate to play that because then my daughter will start playing it, and then she'll ask me to play it, and she doesn't pronounce her S's all the way, so it just sounds like Hellraiser. Dad, I want to play Hellraiser.
And you, honestly, while you're playing the game and you're upgrading and you're going through the battles, and it's a big open world, like they got a couple worlds on the game.
Okay.
You're gonna be like, yeah, this is a Hellraiser. This is a straight artillery gunner.
So is this platformer or like side? Like
it is a side scroller. It's your basic tap and drag. You can tap and point or tap and drag.
Okay.
I always compare games to like something on crack, something on steroids. No, this is your Ninja Turtles, which is not your
heroin?
Ninja Turtles.
No.
This is not your Ninja Turtles. Your Teenage Mutant nothing.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Dog Food.
To give you the and it's Shell Razor.
Okay.
Big shout out to Slick Entertainment. You're riding a tortoise, and you're strapped up with artillery, and you're just mowing down towns.
Sounds like something you'll want to do all the time.
So right now I'm at 3 tiers. I got my blacksmiths up top. I have my missiles and guided missiles on the 2nd tier.
Okay.
And I have my 50 cal automatic machine gunner on the 1st tier. Great.
And
I
this
love
is
it.
Tears on a turtle shell.
This is
Tears
a
on a
tortoise,
turtle shell.
not a turtle.
Tears.
Oh, he said get it right.
Shell.
No,
Okay.
you can bump the tortoise legs and he'll walk a little faster, but this is a full-fledged tortoise. This guy is humongous. And then there's tears off his shell. So Slick Entertainment, keep doing your thing.
I'm going to check that out. I got my phone over here actually right now. All right. So that kind of wrapped up around the room, and I'm going to say that's going to wrap up our show. We've given a lot, and I think we're, as you can see, excited about what's on the horizon.
Watch Dogs is definitely a game that I will have in my library. It's a game that not only would be a game, it can be converted to a movie. It could just the storyline is going to be intricate. They said this is a game that you don't have objectives. You don't have. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like something that wants you to lean to, but you don't really have to do it to get it done.
Yeah, there was a Q&A that took place after the reveal announcement for the PlayStation 4, where Ubisoft developers were discussing, the ins and outs and answering the questions about the game, and they mentioned that, this is a truly open world game. You have objectives to do, but what they really want you to take advantage of is exactly what the game's title is, and that's, being a watchdog, being that protector, being that not just a vigilante, but just being aware of your surroundings. And as you're aware of your surroundings, you focus in on things, and certain things may catch your attention.
The focus, I like that. I like that aspect of the game, like Max Payne, where you slow it down.
Yeah, you got that slow down focus mode. Yeah.
You stopped the L train.
I mean, you
Who
can
stopped the L train?
You can take advantage of an environment, and I think that's where it really comes down to, is that like he mentions, is that in the Q&A, is that the environment is another weapon. It's your weapon.
It's your friend.
And when you use that environment as a true weapon, the sky's the limit at that point. I mean, you're talking about being able to take advantage of everything from, like you said, stopping L trains, stopping traffic.
You make a 30-car pile up in an intersection.
See, and that's the thing. That's the thing that pulled me in. I can walk around and do missions all day, but now you're giving me a guy that can basically tap into somebody's thoughts, because he got, other than tapping into lights and stop signs and telephones, this guy got some abilities.
Right.
I could just walk around in the city all day and just listen to phone conversations. That's my gameplay for a day.
And the thing that I've never seen in any gameplay is you've never seen him pull out a gun.
I've seen him beat this dude up.
I've seen him beat the dude up. Yeah, but you've never seen him pull out a gun.
No, we did see the one trailer. He stops the stoplight, or he turned it from red to green.
Right.
Caused the pile up. Right. Pulled up to the guy, didn't shoot his gun until he was right up on him.
Yeah, I do remember. He did bring his gun out.
Assassination.
Yeah.
He did that running
across
scene
the
and
hood.
it one
Then he
motion
came across the
jump.
hood.
It beautiful, and it just looks so. I wonder if you can control that.
John Woo
like it's not a cutscene.
Yeah, there was the John Woo when he came over the table in the last trailer we just watched. It's like when he jumped over that table. As he was approaching it, I'm thinking like, here's Stranglehold, and he literally slid across the top of the table. And I'm just thinking like, oh, please don't be broken like that game, because that mechanic, although it was great, it was extremely broken, because you can just
kind of cheating. Like,
you can kind of
forever. Like,
all you had to do was like
surfing.
You just had to walk next to something and you immediately surfed across it.
Like I'm grinding on a pole, like.
So yeah, let's just hope that it's not broke like Stranglehold, but still gives you that same sort of physics and power. It just looks great.
So
man.
Ubisoft.
Somebody that's soft.
My leather's so soft. Are gearing. They're the main gears of war behind this.
Yeah, so I guess it's really coming out of Ubisoft Montreal, but
Paris.
Ubisoft has called on all of their resources. Every studio that Ubisoft has is working on this game right now.
They're not working on any other game except for this game.
I like that.
Put everything behind it.
Now,
so some of those
you finished up with Assassin's Creed. Future Soldier's already been out. What more do you have to do? Put some power behind it. Come out with a great game.
Ubisoft Montreal might have some great perspective for your new game, and that's all you need is that one.
But you've got Paris that has expertise. You got Germany that has a little bit more expertise in a certain thing. Put them all together. So they all trying to give. They have tagged each of these studios to do a piece or a aspect of the game, but they are still striving for a coherent, cohesive game.
So we're talking
amongst
about
all of them.
Developers who make games like Far Cry, Splinter Cell,
and Assassin's Creed,
Driver.
Making one game now.
Making one game. That's why the game looks so beautiful already, just from the screenshot.
There's a lot of hands in the cookie jar, but hopefully those are some pretty good macadamia nut cookies.
So congratulations to you guys. We really look forward and expect a lot from this game coming.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So we want to know what you guys are excited about, your thoughts on the PlayStation 4 reveal announcement as we gear up towards the launch and still gear up towards PAX East and E3. We'll be giving you more news. You can check all that out at 1Life2Play.com. Make sure you like us on Facebook. Go ahead and comment to us. Let us know your thoughts. You can always post to our fan page. Like I said, to search for 1Life2Play. Get us on Twitter. That's at 1Life2Play. I'm saying that too much, but there it is on the screen right behind me. It's just 1Life2Play.
1Life2Play, 1Life2Play.
You can find it everywhere. YouTube.
Find it on Steam. Find it on YouTube.
Now, you're a Steam administrator. That's why P-Double is always mentioning that. He is that Steam administrator. You're on Steam. Make sure you hit us up at that 1Life2Play Steam community. We'll be getting that jumping off and more involved as the season goes on. But we're right now in Season 3. You just watched Episode 5. We want you to stay tuned for all the upcoming content. I do want to give a big shout-out right now. We are now 1Life2Play at Man Cave Studios, a part of the Creator X Network on YouTube. That is great news for us. Great news for you, because we're going to be able to give you a lot more features, a lot more content, and reach out to a larger audience and really get this thing going. We want you to stick around with us, stick with us, continue to watch, tell all your friends, and watch for all the big changes that are coming to our YouTube channel and 1Life2Play Live. Until next time, PW, you got anything else?
Game on.
That's it. Game on. Damn.